Dealers are hurting right now, so I just bought a lot of their cars, and through this video I'm actually going to do something that I probably shouldn't do. I'm going to tell you exactly what I paid for them, and I'm going to tell you how much I'm going to sell them for, so you can do some easy math and figure out exactly how much I'm going to try to make on each and every one of these cars. So this is a 2001 Nissan Pathfinder. Yes, an older car. We actually love this older style Pathfinder. They were really good, but we only paid $800 for this. Now here's the problem with the $800 car. We're going to have to fix something on it, and that's the case with this. After a buyer fee, everything like that, we have right around $1,000 in it. I think maybe a little bit more. We're going to try to start it out at $2,500. Probably going to roll it down, and I would assume it's going to sit for a couple weeks because, I mean, it's a $2,500 car. We typically sell those pretty well, but with the market being slower right now, even our $2,500 cars, as I'm walking past another one, are sitting for a little bit longer. So we usually get to that point where most of the stuff that we're selling right now is after that 2-week period. So we're dropping the price by about $500, and that will probably end up selling for $2,000. Hopefully we sell at $2,500. It looks good enough too, but I would imagine that most of the cars are going to have that 2-week initial price bump down, and then that's where we're going to sell it out. And what I can tell you as I'm going through these cars and showing you the prices that I've paid is that we're absolutely getting better prices now than what we were getting just a few months ago. So what does that tell me? That tells me that a lot of other car dealers are really slow right now, and that they're not willing to raise their hand as high as they had been just a couple months ago. When I say raise their hand higher, it just means bid more on the cars. So we're able to go in there, and we're able to find a lot of cars that are falling through the cracks. And this is, I mean, this is the outcome, right? We see that our lot is getting back to full. This is more cars than I usually have during this time of year. And it was just, what, a month and a half, 2 months ago, I had almost no car. We had in total, I think, 15 cars for sale at one point. And now we have over 80 cars that are in our inventory, and we're getting to the point where if we have another good buying week and not a great selling week, that we're going to have to figure out some kind of storage situation. I can hold 90 cars here pretty comfortably, but that's about it. So anyway, that's what we're dealing with right now, and other dealers, just same as me, having a hard time selling cars. So as they start to hurt more, then prices can come down more, and then we buy more cars. The problem that can arise for me is that, okay, if car prices continue to go down, then cars that I'm buying a month from now, they're going to be a lot cheaper than even the cars that I bought right now. So if I don't get all of these cars turned around within a month's time, then I could have cars coming in that are a lot cheaper, and they're going to compete with this old inventory that I have sitting around my lot. And if that happens, then I have to drastically lower the prices of the stuff that's stale, and I could end up breaking even or even losing money on a lot of the stuff that I'm buying right now. So we have to aggressively price our cars and then aggressively lower the prices of our cars if they don't get sold in a short amount of time, because I don't want to get stuck with a lot of inventory. No, I don't pay any interest. I don't have any floor plan costs, anything like that. I pay cash for my cars, but still, that when in downtrending market, which is what we're experiencing right now, then I could be stuck with some cars, and I don't want cars that are $5,000 and under sitting on my lot, not being driven. That's not good for them. And then two, they're going to constantly just go down in value as prices go down at the auction. So that's two things that I definitely am going to be worried about, concerned about, and then we have to stay on top of it to make sure that we get these cars out of here before we get a new batch, a new 70, 80 cars coming in to fill these spaces. I don't want to compete with myself on pricing. That's the big thing. So one thing we did just talk about, and I'll kind of give you a little bit behind the scenes of what I'm doing within my car dealership right now. Nate, my sales manager, we're talking about pricing. And we're deciding right out the gate right now that we're actually going to be a little bit more aggressive on how we're pricing our cars. When I say aggressive, I mean picking the lower end of what we would initially price the car for, so we can actually get more cars moved right now. This is a kind of a weird time with prices going down at auction, us being able to buy more cars right now. We typically don't have this much inventory this time of year. Now, I did ramp up a little bit because we were down so much. I might have bit off a little bit more than I could chew. Anyway, we're going to see this. Make sure you subscribe because I'm going to give you updates throughout this. But what we typically do is when we initially price a car, then we try to hit a home run. We try to make like $1,500, and then the market will tell us, okay, 2 weeks later, no attention on that car. Then we'll bump it down $500. 2 weeks go by, bump it down another $500. 2 weeks go by, another $500. You can do the math. We're making $1,500, bump it down to $500. Then 2 weeks later, we're only making $1,000. Bump it down 2 weeks later, then we're only making $500. Then if it just doesn't sell in that amount of time, then we know we just shouldn't have the car, and then we just try to break even at that point. But we're actually starting basically 2 weeks behind now with our pricing because we're going to go ahead and just be around that $1,000 price point whenever we're initially pricing our car. At least that's what we're thinking that we're going to do. I don't know anything about what I'm doing here. I just know that what we've been doing is not working, and we're buying more cars, which might not work. I don't know. We didn't have a lot of cars. We couldn't sell a lot of cars. We bought a lot of cars. Still having a hard time selling cars, even though we have inventory. Okay, let's lower our prices. We did that already. Still having a hard time selling. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to try something. This is what you do as a small business. You try something, doesn't work, try something else. That doesn't work, try something else. And then you find something that works, and then you do it over and over and over and over again. We just haven't found the thing that we need to do over and over and over and over and over again to make money. So that's what we're working on. Traveling can already be stressful, and renting a car at the airport usually makes it worse. And that's where Turo comes in. Turo is the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Turo is available at 140 plus airports across US and Canada, so you can skip the rental counter next time you fly. With more than 1,600 makes and models listed by trusted hosts across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and France. And it lets you book the exact car that you want right from the app. Here's how easy it works. Search by the airport that you're flying into. When you get off the plane, you'll have instructions where the car is parked on the Turo app. Depending on the airport, you'll pick up your car at designated airport parking lots, garages, or even curbside. And if you're like me, you have things to do and already feel like there's not enough time to do them. So why waste any of it by standing in a rental line just to deal with upsells? With Turo, you skip the counter completely and drive off in the car you actually booked, not some similar model. So next time you travel, make it simple. So you can head to my link in the description to rent a car through Turo and see how easy airport trips can be. Travel is stressful enough. Your car doesn't need to be. And I want to thank Turo for sponsoring today's video. All right, so check it out. We got all this empty space here behind where we usually get our cars cleaned because they just knocked out I think it's like 15 cars. And up there, we've got a bunch of cars that aren't priced yet because we're getting pictures of them, going to get them online. This is kind of our process. They come down here, see all these cars that are in the corner over here. They are in recon, so they're waiting to, something's going to be fixed on them. We're going to get them cleaned pretty soon. Nate's working on, he's my sales manager, he's working on actually getting stuff priced, going through cars. Looks like you're lost though.
We've got more keys than I have cars.
We've got more keys than we have cars. That's not a good problem. All right, so check this one out. It's a 2009 Toyota Corolla. We paid $2,600 for this car, and I could tell you that if I had the choice of any cars to actually keep on my lot, and that's the only thing I would keep, it would be Toyota Camrys, Toyota Corollas, and that's about it. So that one, we paid $2,600 for it. We're going to have a buyer fee, probably fix a little bit of something on it. I would guess we have somewhere around $3,000 in that car. I know with just the buyer fee alone, we're going to have like, it's going to be probably $250, so $2,850. So really close to that $3,000 point anyway. So we'll price it probably somewhere around $4,000. Try to move it on. But I mean, I love those little Corollas. They look great. They're great on gas, very reliable. Those and Toyota Camrys, that's all I want to have. And I know I get a lot of comments saying, well, why don't you only have Toyotas then and Hondas? There's not enough of them out there at the auctions that we go to. Yeah, we're able to buy a ton of cars, but there's not just Camrys and Corollas all that we want to be able to buy in that price point. If we want to still be able to sell 50, 60, 70 cars in a month, then I have to buy 70, 80, 90 cars in a month. And to be able to do that, you can't just buy Toyotas and Hondas. I can't just buy all the things that I want to buy I have to be able to expand and buy Fords and GMs and Chevys and some of the European cars. I have to buy all those if I want to be able to service my car lot to be able to sell that 60, 70, 80 cars in a month. And it's hard to do if you're trying to just hone in on one particular type of car. And I do like to show you guys our board every once in a while. This is how we keep up with our back end, our operation stuff. So as cars get fixed, they start off over here. Things need to be done to them. They move over here to actually being clean. All these cars were clean today, and now we're getting them posted. But problem is when there's lots of tabs on here, there's lots of cars that need to be fixed, my stress level goes up. So as these move over here, then my stress level can go down. This is what Alex, my mechanic, has to deal with on a daily basis, and this is how we keep track of it. All right, I'm going to show you this one right here. It's a 2012 Ford Escape. It's got 150,000 miles, which is actually pretty good mileage for what we actually are selling here. Keep in mind, I'm a car dealer. I sell cars that are $5,000 and under, meaning I have to have higher mileage stuff that's older. And I want to show you what I paid for it. I actually paid $2,200 for it. Did I say, let's say with the year? It's a 2012. I'm not sure if I got that right or not. I want to show you this just so you know I'm not making a YouTube video and lying about stuff. All right, so check this out. It's a 2012 Ford Escape, 150,000 miles. We paid $2,200 for it. Our buyer fee was $240. This is our total price that we have in it. So this one out the gate, we're actually going to price for $4,000, see if we can sell it for that. But anyway, this is, we buy a lot of Ford Escapes. I actually like them. Now, I know the major problems with them is typically transmission, but the good thing about a Ford, and the reason why I'm not really scared of them, both the Escapes and the Ford Explorers have known problems with the transmissions, but Ford is really good about their transmission computer throwing any codes if it's going to be going out soon, if it's got any kind of solenoid issues, if it's got any incorrect gear ratios. We can detect that at the auction without even driving the car, and Ford is very good about that. So I am not scared of Ford Escapes. I'm not afraid of Ford Explorers as far as their transmissions go, because we can detect them so early that I really never have an issue with transmissions in Fords. And if you're wondering why some cars up there are priced and some of them aren't, it's because we just got a ton of them in, and they're working on pricing them as we speak right now. Got to get pictures, things like that. We like to take the pictures of the car before we actually put the prices on the car. I mean, the easy reason for, well, there's two reasons. One, I think it looks better without the actual prices, the stickers on the car. But the main reason is because prices can change. And it's not going to change. You hear like a lot of car dealers will say, or you hear people that really hate car dealers say that, okay, well, every customer is going to get a different price depending on how excited they are about the car. That's not how we work. We price our cars out here on the lot, and that's the price that someone pays. We don't have any fees or anything. I don't even have a dock fee. But we want to be able to lower our prices every couple weeks. So if we have the prices on the cars when we put them online, then that car might show that's $3,500, but you show up at the lot and it's $3,000, and you're already like, okay, well, this is weird, something sketchy, because people are already assuming that me as a used car dealer, I'm trying to do something sketchy. I wish it wasn't that way. But you know what? Maybe I do, because whenever they find out that I'm honest about what we're doing, we don't have any fees and things like that, I think that sells more cars for us, and it gets us more repeat and referral business. That's a big part of my business, is repeats and referrals. And I think because of how shady the industry is, it actually, we cut through the noise, and we're able to sell more cars because of how we operate our business compared to what other car dealers do. And what's funny about actually telling you about our price drops is that I've had a couple customers that have now told me that I am too transparent on YouTube. When they come in and they're like, okay, there was this car that I was looking at, but I knew you were going to drop the price because you've had it for about 10 days. And I knew it was only a few days away from you dropping the price by $500. So I waited you out, and I got the better price. So I get it. And this is why, I mean, I guess it's a prop. Maybe I'm losing sales because I'm telling you all this, but we also want to be as transparent as possible, and I want you to know exactly how I run my business. And it makes for a good YouTube, but probably not the best decision as far as running a business. And now maybe I'm suffering for it a little bit, but but it makes it entertaining, doesn't it? And I've gotten a question recently about how often do we lose money on cars? Do we ever lose money on cars? We're buying cars so cheap, can we still get out of them? If we buy them from auction, if we decide that they're bad or whatever, got a flying around my face, can we just take it back to auction and get basically run it back through and bring about the same amount of money? The answer is no. I wish that was the case, but sometimes we make mistakes, and it's quite often right now that we lose money on a car, whether it be that we just buy it wrong and then we have to take a little bit of loss on the retail side up here, or we buy it wrong and there's a big time motor transmission problem. We can't detect all of them. I said earlier in this video, like Fords are really good, and it's very rare for me to have a transmission problem with a Ford because I can pick it up on my scanner, it'll throw a code. But most brands are not like that, where like a Chevy, a GM, they can have just a ripped out transmission and their computer won't throw any codes. And I've never really understood that across the brands, how you can have some brands that can throw big time motor, big time transmission codes, and you can detect the problem really easily, and some brands not at all. But anyway, so we fall victim to a Chevy or a GM transmission, and then we have to do basically a risk analysis, a cost analysis, to know, okay, how much can we sell this for if we have to put in. Last transmission I put in I think it was a Chevy Terrain, or is an Acadia, I don't know, one of those, and it was like $3,500, and we determined that, okay, we got like $1,500 in the car, but if we spend another $3,500 on it, then we can probably sell it for like $4,500. But if we take it to auction, it's going to bring like $300 because it wouldn't move. The transmission was out of it. So that's what we have to look at. And that one, I think we made the wrong choice because we ended up losing, I think, even more than it was a nightmare. But we no longer buy Chevy Terrain, the Acadias. No, it's a GMC Terrain. Same, they're all the same. GM, Chevy, all of those. I lose money on all of them. Doesn't matter. They're bad about camshaft sensors, which we have to actually go into it's usually the motor's not, the timing is messed up when we do that, so we have to go into it. That's all big time repair, or transmission. So we stay away from those now. But yes, we lose money on cars, and quite a bit of them. I would say our loss rate's probably 1 out of every 13 would be my guess. We used to run at about a 4 to 5% loss rate back when it was easy to buy cars, back when there were a lot of cars out there, and this was like 2019, and we could be picky about what we were actually buying, and we would only buy the stuff that was ready to go, and by doing that and not taking any gambles, we could cut our losses big time, and it was very rare for us to actually lose money on a car. Now's not the case. We have to gamble more. If we want to have this many cars out here, we have to buy some stuff that we get it back to the lot, and we're just going to see what happens. And that's not my favorite way to run business, but it's the way for us to have inventory, for us to be able to run our business with the volumes that we do. And hopefully the car market gets back to a place where we have a lot of trade-ins coming into the system. New car dealers start doing volume more than they have been. A lot more trade-ins for me to be able to buy, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So as of right now, in the near future, we're still probably going to be running at that. I don't know. I said what, 1 out of every 13. I don't know what percentage that is. Somebody put it down in the comments. I don't feel like doing math right now. But anyway, that's not where I want to be. Where I want to be is 5% loss rate. Well, that's 1 out of every 20, and that's difficult to do. Think about what I'm buying. I'm buying cars that are $5,000 and under, and selling them for $5,000 and under. Higher mileage, older cars, they have problems, and specifically with motors and transmissions, that problems can arise that I can't detect. Makes it hard to do what I do, but we do it, and I don't think I would have it any other way. And I know, I see it all the time in the comments. Brandon, stop complaining that you're slow right now when you're not giving out your dealership in your description, or you're making people actually do some work to figure out where your dealership. I get it. I'm not trying to sell you a car. I don't want you to buy a car. I don't want you to buy a car from a dealer. That includes me. I don't know the history on these cars. Go buy a car from an individual or someone that you can actually know the history on the car, and you can even get a better deal. I'm buying these cars to make money on the car. I'm not running a charity out here. I make a profit on these cars. You can buy these cars cheaper than what I'm selling them for. I know what you're thinking, like, where's a $4,500 SUV I can buy, or a $4,500 car, or $4,000 car? Around my area, they don't exist. They do. You just have to do some work. So this, I mean, I get it. I know you want to buy a car and you want the easy way out where you can just come here and you can find a car for under $5,000. But I can promise you, you put in a little bit of work, you can find these same cars, probably even cheaper, if you just do a little work around your area and you don't have to come here to buy. You don't have to buy a car that I buy from auction that I don't know the history on. I'm trying to give you the best advice I can, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you one of my cars. I want you to take the advice that I'm giving you on YouTube, and I want you to be able to use it as good, honest advice and be able to make good decisions about making a car purchase in your life. And I know there's a lot of you out there that know where my car dealership is. You know how to check our website, and there's cars that you want to buy. All that I ask is you're going to help my sales staff out so much. If you do want, there's a car that you want to purchase, call them first, because some of these cars we can't sell to out-of-state residents until we physically have the title in hand. And that's the thing. There's some of them that we have the title sitting in our building, and some of them that we have the title that we're waiting on to get from the auction. I can sell a car to a North Carolina resident, if I don't have the title yet, even though it's in transit coming to me. But I can't sell it to a consumer that I'm going to sell it out of state, because you have to have the title, you have to have everything so you can go get it registered. I can get cars registered for North Carolina residents, and that's why we're able to sell some of these cars when we know that the title's coming from the auction. But if a customer's out of state, I can't guarantee that. So we will not sell a car without a title to an out-of-state resident. So make sure, if you're coming from wherever you're coming from. I've had people come from Michigan, I've had people come from South Dakota or North Dakota, can't remember, to come buy a car. Have people from New York come and look at cars. Please call and look. There's another car dealer between here and New York that does the same thing. There's someone in New York that's doing the same thing that I'm doing. You don't have to come all the way down here to buy a car. I know you want to buy a car from me. Look, I'm giving you advice. I'm showing you what the market's doing so you can figure this out on your own, and you don't have to come all the way down here. I want to see you. I want you to come buy a car from me. Yes, but there's a better way. I promise you there's a better way than coming down here to buy a car from me. Look, just don't do it. Yeah, so check this out. Oh my goodness, this stupid paper. All right, so check this. All right.